This is the new version of the theme song. It's longer. Yeah, it's longer. Everyone wanted more theme song, myself included. Nice and calming, relaxing theme song. Oh, I'm gonna breathe for a second. I should fade it out more, but I guess not. It's a little longer. I don't know how much I like it. That's the length I want it to be. That is the length that I want the show to be. Welcome to Dog Name Podcast with me, your host, Winston Hodges. And I'm here, and I'm angry again. Second week in a row that I'm angry. Because I have not gone to get my lens fixed. And maybe you've noticed it's a different camera angle. Not only have I not gone to get my one lens fixed due to anxiety and other stuff going on, but earlier tonight, I set up my camera at the same comedy club where the lens got broken the first time. And I broke another lens. The other lens got broken. It's covered. It's going to be covered. I could not be less excited to do anything than I am to try to get my lenses fixed under warranty. So last week we already talked about my anxiety about it, and now it is tenfold that. I am very upset. But we have a show to do, so we have to do the show. And I just got back from Asheville, North Carolina. I was down there headlining some shows for Model Face Comedy, which is a great independent series of comedy shows run by Melissa Hahn in Asheville, North Carolina. They're great. She has me down there about once a year to headline, and I went down, took Matilda Epstein with me to open. We had a headlining show, a crowd work show, and then a nice showcase to finish everything off. So it worked out pretty well. Asheville is interesting. It's an interesting little city. It's weird because it's just like it's a special type of liberal. It's like weird. It's a weird liberal city. It's like everybody, because it's also really crunchy. It's like a real crunchy hippie type of city. So it's like weird because it's like everybody who lives there hates Trump, but they also hate the vaccine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird, like, it's a city full of people that think, I don't know, that you can cure COVID with crystals and hops. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they think is really curing it. It's a lot of IPAs doing a lot of heavy lifting with the COVID-19 down there in Asheville. Yeah, it's a real hippy-dippy place, man. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The scenery is amazing. We walked around. We had a nice time. The shows were good. What do I have written right here? Yeah, there was a bunch of protests. We were downtown, and I guess they have protests there like clockwork, and none of them are congruent with each other at all. And also, it's like the whitest town I've ever been in my life. It's incredibly not diverse. Asheville is like, I think one of the people that live there said it's like 94% white, which is an absolutely devastating amount of white people. That is unbelievable. Like, that's crazy. Like, there was a lady at one of the shows who heard that statistic, and she said she was from Iowa and was like, that's a lot of white people. And that's not who you want saying that's a lot of white people. You don't want someone from Iowa walking around being like this, wow, where's the diversity in Asheville? Where's the Asheville, North Carolina diversity? You don't want them saying that yet. 94% white, very liberal, big tourist town. Big tourist town. People are coming through. So the mix of the shows is you got like half people that live there and half people that are just on vacation. Want to look at like I think it's like the Biltmore or something. I don't really know. There's a lot of cool stuff down there. It's gorgeous. We had fun, but none of the protests are congruent with each other. It's just a bunch of white people protesting all types of shit. Some of it. So we walked by and it was like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and there was a group of white folks setting up to protest nuclear weapons or protest nuclear weapons, right? And they said they had a big sign that said nuclear weapons are illegal. I don't even know if that's true. I really don't. I've never thought about that at all. Unless it's like for private citizens, yeah. Like I don't really know. Like I don't think it's illegal for the United States of America to have nukes. We probably shouldn't use them. You know, I'm not saying that we should use them, but it was a protest that I didn't you know what I mean? Like it felt like to me like they might as well have had something that was just like, you can't have tanks. And it's like, well, yeah, I can't have one, but like you're allowed to put them on the ground for war. So that was the main protest we saw. It's just a bunch of white people being like, and here's the thing, there's a protest happening, and then like me and Matilda are walking, and we see it, and while we're seeing it on the opposite side of the street, protest is happening on this side of the street, and then we're walking across on the other side. So we look to our left and see the protest, and then this hippie lady tries to hand us literature for a different protest. And so like we didn't even look at that. It was very fun to be extremely rude to the woman that tried to hand me literature. It was great to be like, hey, she goes, hey, do you guys want to read some literature? And I'll be honest with you, I checked out when she got to, do you guys want to read? Like when she hit me with that, it was 3 p.m. I was trying to get barbecue. Reading was not on the agenda at that time period. So we go eat barbecue, and we made a good barbecue. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But when we headed back, a different protest was happening. But this protest was just a dude in a cowboy hat preaching. It was just preaching with like gospel music playing when he's talking, very, very compassionate. It was, I was like, oh, this is cool. No, it wasn't like hateful preaching. It was very much like, this is, God can help you. Don't be afraid. Like don't turn away from him. It's like, I know you feel like you can't be saved. You can, but there wasn't any stuff that would be, problematic or upsetting to other people. Right. The only thing was his sign that said, turn your life to Jesus, looked exactly like the sign for the nuclear weapons are illegal. Like, so I guess there's just one sign shop, in all of Asheville that handles all the protest signs, and that's kind of great, right? Because that's fun, because there's like a possibility that like the anti-nuclear weapon people could be at the sign shop at the same time, like as the we love nuclear weapon people. And I bet there's like all types of mishaps and hijinks at the factory where it's like they roll it out and they're like, oh no, we love dropping bombs on people sign. Oh no, what are we supposed to do? So that was the protest vibe. They've got a nice protest culture. Everyone that lived there hated living there. Every person at every show hated that they lived in Asheville, which is just nuts. Like all of them were like, it's too expensive. We hate it here. Like it's not the way that it used to be. We can't stand it. And then all these people just refuse to leave. They're just there forever. They agreed with every horrible thing we said about their little town. And they didn't, like, no questions asked. They were immediately like, yeah, we suck. We're awful. And I'm like, I thought it was nice. Like, it was one of those things where, like, you're trying to enjoy your trip, and then everyone that lives there is like, oh, I can't believe you like this. This place is a piece of shit. And I'm like, I think it's pretty swell. Like, I think it's purely outside of all the white people, because it's distractingly white. Like, it's the type of white where, like, we're walking downtown, we walk by the 2 white protests, and then there's a group of white kids skateboarding in the middle of the street by police officers that are like, yeah, go on, skateboarding kids. And then as we're looking at that, we are met by a white rapper who is, the only thing I remember he said was, he's like, I'm spinning crazy like a Beyblade. So that's it's really it's really something else that they've got going down there culturally. It is really interesting because they say, there's like a big thing, like say white people don't have culture, and then you go to Asheville and it's like we do have culture. It's terrible. It's just not good. You get a group of 94% white people that are progressive and don't want to take culture from other people. So you get like the really woke 94% of white people who are like, we're not taking other culture. We got to make our own culture. And then like you find that our culture is just skateboarders and protesting and like handing out literature and just being kind of annoying and wearing flannel shirts and beanies and complaining about where we live. A big part of white culture, I think, is complaining about a lack of diversity and then doing absolutely nothing to fix it. I think that's like peak white culture, which is complaining about how many white people live in your neighborhood and then like refusing to sell your house to a black person. Like I think that's the big white culture. That's a huge part of it, which is like, man, I sure do hate how not diverse our little cul-de-sac is. And then at the same time, when they try to put affordable housing, joining NIMBY and being like, "You're not putting that shit here." You kidding me? It's like, yeah, we want people of color in here, but we also don't want to have our like, our cost of living effect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want don't bring down my property values. It's like, whoa, we want to make sure that we can make a lot of money. Quit making affordable housing for me. They were telling me shit where it's like if they this is all very disjointed. Another interesting fact about Asheville. And here's the thing. This is all secondhand information that I heard from someone that lived in Asheville that hates living in Asheville. So I've done no research to this. I've done no follow-up. I could have. I very much could have, but I didn't. I didn't do it. And I'm giving this to you like it's the gospel, because I believe it, and it's fun for me to believe. And if I'm wrong, put it in the comments, and maybe someone will read them. But the other thing that they told me was they said that there's so many Airbnbs, and there's a huge homeless problem there. But there's so many Airbnbs that if there were no Airbnbs, there would be enough houses for every person that lives in Asheville to have a single person home. But instead, they have 10,000 Airbnbs and 10,000 homeless people. So it's crazy, dude. It is truly wild to just see like every facet of a town be white. From the richest person to the poorest person to the homeless folks to the people with multiple houses. Just the caucasity is unbelievable. In this town. And I'm not a self-hating white guy. It just is very shocking. I've traveled all over a pretty large part of this country. I've been in New England in some areas that are very, very, very white. They're like crazy white. But in the South, it's like, I believe the South is the most ethnically diverse place in the country. Like I really think it is. Like I think like if you look at it, it's like us, the American Southwest, the American Southeast and the American Southwest, both very like as diverse as it gets in the U.S. And then it's New England, and then I think the Midwest is the least diverse. Like the Midwest is insane. There's more cows than like POCs. You know what I mean? Like that's just true. And so just seeing all that was just very jarring. Like I don't, I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh, being white's evil. White people suck. You know what I mean? Like I say that because it's funny and it's fun to joke about it, but I don't truly believe that. But then you like just go and you're just like, man, this is just things are better when they're diverse. They're better. Food is better. Your sports teams are better when it's not all just the same. Oh man, I'll have to edit that out. Hold on 1 second. I have to. Oh no, I'm trying to not say the F word on this show, and I've been doing pretty good. So I have to now write down. At the 15-minute mark, I have to go and cut that out because that's what happens when you make a promise to yourself that you're not going to say the F word or GD on a podcast so your mother can listen to it. So I'll probably cut that whole section out. because I didn't like where we were going with the riff anyway. I wasn't pleased with where I was going with it. It's just, I think being diverse is better. I think your food's better. I think it makes like sporting events better. I think it makes parties better, music better. I think everything's better when you get different stuff from different places. So it's like the 100% whiteness is horrible. But I said the F word, so we'll cut this whole section out. Let's do the 15-minute mark. And there'll be a nice little jump here for editing reasons. Here's another thing. I was, right before, we'll get back to Asheville, but before, because I don't remember what I was talking about with Asheville. But before I headed down there, I got violently ill this week. I was like ill, like Sunday through Tuesday, just I don't want to get too gross, but just like stuff was going in my body and then immediately going out. You know what I mean? Like just just my rear end just getting decimated with sickness, just not feeling good. Just oh my gosh, I had like, and here's the thing, I don't know what caused it. I got no clue. I had a smoothie, and I shudder to think that perhaps the reason that the smoothie made me violently ill is my body is incapable of processing fruits because I don't usually eat them. That is I Googled it, and that's a thing that it could just be. It could just be I'm so unhealthy that the influx of berries into my body destroyed my gastrointestinal system. Like you have no clue. I was on the toilet for just hours. I felt like I was dying. So it was like Monday I took off. The Tuesday I took off as well, and it was like raining hard, so some shows got canceled, so I didn't feel bad. I just couldn't move. I could barely eat anything. And then Wednesday, like Tuesday night, I took an Imodium. I've never taken an Imodium before. I've never done that before, right? I've notoriously, I definitely have IBS. I might be lactose intolerant. I might have a gluten thing. I might have a food allergy. I definitely don't eat the right types of food. And you're all like, Winston, have you done anything? I mean, anything to change these facets of your diet? No, and I never will. I never will. That's never going to happen. I'm not ever going to put better food in my body. I can't do it. I'm a picky eater. I'm 33 years old, and I'm on the road doing comedy. There's only so much I can do. I'm trying, but it's whatever. But yeah, after my ass got destroyed by fruits, and I was like, it was orange. It literally made a smoothie that was blackberries, blueberries, orange juice, and ice, and water. And then 3 hours later, I'm just getting destroyed. And so that was, I think, Sunday into Monday. Monday, devastatingly ill, not moving, can't do anything. Luckily, no shows. I was fine. Tuesday, took off from shows again. Went Tuesday night, took an Imodium. Never had one before. Right? It's supposed to be great for gastrointestinal distress. It is a drug to make you not diarrhea. That's literally what it's just anti-diarrheal. That's what it is. I don't know what it's actually called. That's what it is. If you have the D word, you take an Imodium, and what it is supposed to do is slow down your gastrointestinal system so that because like diarrhea, it's like it's just your GI tract's just like going, pushing everything out. And Imodium is supposed to slow it down. I didn't shit for 4 days, and that is a different level of I can't comprehend. I have never not pooped for 4 days. Never in my life. I've been constipated before after like surgery. You know what I mean? Like where I'm taking painkillers after knee surgery. I have never, through 2 little pills, it didn't slow my GI tract down. It shut it down. My body, I felt like it was shutting down. Wednesday, didn't go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, okay, that'll be fine. Thursday, I was like, I'll try to go. Can't go. Maybe I'll go Friday. Friday, driving to Asheville, having not pooped for 2 days, and on this third day and just being like, I don't know what's going to happen to me on this trip. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I was scared, and I wasn't telling Matilda or anyone else. I was legitimately scared driving to Asheville, North Carolina, that I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going they were going to be out, like they were going to do an autopsy, and they were going to be like, "Oh man, he it looks like he got dehydrated from all the pooping, and then he took an Imodium, and that sucked the last bit of the moisture out of his body, and then he turned to stone from the inside." Like, that's what it felt like. I felt like my intestines were turning. They just wouldn't work. It just felt like it was my ass was asleep, like almost like you would do the thing you do, your sphincter or whatever. And this is a very gross part of the show, but I don't care. They do that sphincter thing where you're like squeezing, and it just was like, it's just, you know what I mean? Just like a little interior emotional squeeze, and I couldn't, and nothing would happen. I wasn't really farting, which is also like, good God, you know what I mean? Not passing gas for multiple days. And then by Friday, I went to sleep, and I prayed. I did pray that the good Lord would see me through and really help me to have a BM. And then Saturday we woke up and we went out and we did all this stuff, and then I told myself Saturday, I was like, if I don't go to the bathroom today, I am going to the hospital. I am going to go. And I was willing. I'm paying out of pocket for insurance. I am perfectly comfortable walking into whatever hospital and being like, I haven't pooped in 4 days, and I need to see your best doctor. Do you have all my information with doctors is like from television, so I don't even really. I would have just been like, I need to see your best autistic doctor. Do you have a doctor with autism? I've been watching The Good Doctor on TV a lot. I want a 23-year-old genius that doesn't make eye contact and will probably give me my diagnosis in the worst possible way. Do you have one of those available? And then we had barbecue. And brother, I think barbecue is the best food on earth. I think nothing touches it. I think it's quintessential American. I think it's quintessential Southern. It's just meat and sauce and delicious sides. And I went to Bear Barbecue in Asheville, North Carolina. It was delicious barbecue. I got a burnt-end sandwich. I put the hot barbecue sauce on it. I got a side of macaroni and cheese. I ate almost all of it. I felt great. I felt good. We stand up to leave. I walked 15 feet and immediately knew that today was the day. That I felt the Holy Spirit in my body, and He was working through me. And Bear Barbecue was an answered prayer. We had this delicious barbecue, and we walked to the car and put it in the GPS to get to the venue for the show, and it was about 8-9 minute drive, not far. But I don't know if you've ever gone from I can't poop for 4 days immediately shifting into, oh my God, I don't know if I can make it to the show venue. But we did. We made it. I went in, and it was the best, one of the best BMs of my life. It was great. There's a lot of stuff to share with you, but it's that thing where it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to take Imodium again. I was legitimately scared. That literally says, like, the number one side effect is constipation. And like, I was on Google looking up answers. That's a scary long time to not go to the bathroom. 4 days is like, that is terrifying. But I went, and then all the shows were good. I had a buddy from high school who was in Asheville, and he visiting, and he came to a show, and it went well. Thank God, I was very happy. Crowd work show was very fun, and the showcase show was also very fun. Had a lot of good riffs, and I'll update. I'll upload some clips this week, hopefully. But that was the trip to Asheville. 7 hours down, 7 hours back. It was so cold in Asheville. I had to get a new battery put in my car right before I went down, and also never go to Midas. Just don't do that. Don't do it. I'm so angry that I went to Midas. It was so close to my house. I just wanted to do it. I knew I needed a battery, or I thought I needed a battery, but I took it to Midas because all my family are mechanics, and they're 3 hours away, so I can't get to them. I can't take my vehicle to them. They would have taken care of me. I'm not able to do that, right? So I was I'll go to Midas. If they tell me it's more than a battery, my car has 240,000 miles on it. I'm not going to fix it. I'll do something else with it. If it's a battery, we'll throw a battery in. I'm expecting to spend $180 maybe. You know what I mean? They call me next morning, $330. The Midas, they screw you. It's the the Midas touch. Everything turns to gold. Yeah, you have to have gold to pay for it. It's so expensive. Don't do it. Go to get a family member or a friend who's a mechanic. Go to a shop you recommend. I just was in a bind with. I needed to get a battery put in the day before I was heading to Asheville, so I did it. So I put this battery in, spent $300-something. It's an absurd amount of money, and travel. Because they were like, oh well, the labor on the battery is $100. Go screw yourself. You've lost your absolute mind. You are charging $100 for something that Advance Auto would have just thrown in for free. Or I don't know, man. I've never been anywhere where putting in a battery was more than $30. I just am used to that being the cost of throwing a battery in. Having used to work in the car industry. Nope, not at all. You have to just $100 at my. He goes, that's just what our rate is. And I was like, well, that's absurd. He's like, well, I can drop it to 70. I'm like, yeah, drop it to 70. That's still double. That's highway robbery. So I'm never going to go back to Midas. So Midas sucks. You should never go to Midas. Screw Midas. And that's what this podcast is going to be. It's going to be me having bad interactions with chains and then rallying my 9 fans to ruin their business, to just destroy the infrastructure of Midas. All right, just go anywhere else. Just go anywhere that's not a chain. You would think the chains would be cheaper and they're more expensive. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's the only industry where that is it. Usually the chains, like Walmart and Amazon and all that stuff's more expensive than cheaper than the mom and pop stuff. So it runs the mom and pop stuff out of business. But the chains, when it comes to cars, they charge infinitely more money, and we're all okay with it. So we should fix that. That's a simple problem that I just that I have. But I did that, and so my battery worked great the entire time I'm in Asheville. And then this morning we woke up to drive back, and it was freezing outside, and then my car wouldn't start again. And oh boy, if I had had a gun, you know what I mean? I would have gone into whatever local Midas and been like, somebody is fixing my car right now. But it wasn't my car battery. It was I have a push button start, and it was the battery to my keys. It was so cold that I had to rub my keys with my hands to warm up the battery so that they could be used. But yeah, I just said that because I hate Midas so much. That's a pretty pointless part of the podcast, but I really wanted to say it. I got a few minutes left. This isn't going to be a crazy long episode. I think it's maybe 35 minutes might be what we do on this bad boy, just because of the camera lens situation and this very last minute. But I wanted to get something out to you guys. But if you're a fan and you're still listening and you want to come see me, you can see me this weekend in Pittsburgh, January 19th and 20th. Come catch me in Pittsburgh. I got Sandy Benton opening for me. I'm at Aurora Market in D.C. on January 25th. January 26th, I'm at at a meadery in Rockville, Maryland for Boston Comedy Club. January 27th, I'm at Don't Tell Comedy in Baltimore. Come to that. February 2nd and 3rd, I'm at the Kansas City Improv opening for John Heffron, which will be very cool. February 7th is a show at the Alamo Draft House in Arlington, Virginia, Crystal City. I'll be at that one. I'm going to be hosting it. We got a nice lineup for you there. And then February 8th through the 10th, I'll be in Portland, Oregon at the Helium Comedy Club opening for Jamie Lee. So please come to those shows. All links are in my bio, or just go to @WinstonHComedy or winstonhodges.com, whether it's Instagram or the website. and you'll be able to check it out, which I think would be very cool. It would be greatly appreciated if you fine folks went ahead and did that. I think some of my stomach problems comes from I snack really late at night. Like I'm a big late night snacker. Like it just for whatever reason, man. It's like it's 1:49 a.m. right now, and I'm thinking about food. I can't not think about it. I've got an unhealthy relationship with food, but I'm down a few pounds. I'm gonna keep working on it. I've got to do that. But the late night snacking is what gets me. And here's the thing with late night snacking is you can look it up on how to not late night snack, like all the tips, and they're all very condescending. They're kind of like these asshole type tips where it's just like, it's literally you type in how do you not snack at night, and Google's like, have you tried brushing your teeth earlier? And it's like, what are you even brushing my teeth earlier? And it's like, no, I haven't tried that. That's insane. All right, I'm not going to do that. And I did it. I tried it, and it doesn't work. All right, brushing your teeth earlier does not work. That's the only tip they give you, and brushing your teeth earlier does not work, okay? Because here's the deal. When you're a late-night snacker like me, I started brushing my teeth at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and literally the only thing it's taught me is like how cool I am with like toothpaste flavored chocolate. All right, I love it, dude. Oh my god, you brush your teeth at 4, and then you have like a nice little Hershey's bar. It's like, oh, dude, everything in your house tastes like an Andes Mint. All right, it's delicious. I was like, oh my gosh, is this Coca-Cola with spearmint? Oh my, what is my life? Oh my gosh, is my mouth just a freestyle machine at a Five Guys? This is fantastic. I love it. I don't know, man. You look up. I had a buddy was like, have you tried putting a lock on your fridge? And it's like, shut up. What type of help? That's the most hurtful thing you could. Did I put a lock on my fridge? He's like, hey, have you ever thought about treating yourself like you're a wild animal? You know what I mean? Like you just put it in a cage. Have you tried locking? Like, what are we even? I don't even know where you go to with that. Like, I don't know what. Who do I call? I can't call like Home Depot. They'll just call like a regular locksmith. That's like, hey, can you come put a lock on my fridge? Because you can't like, I don't know, be a mid-30s white guy and being like, can you put a lock on the fridge? And they don't think that you have children somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, hey, these kids are really getting into the snacks. Can you come in? It's like, no, this is for me. I'm a grown man, and I can't help myself. And if so I don't know who to go to for this. I don't know who you ask. I don't know like if you do it yourself. I got no clue to do that. I can't even really fathom where you begin to put a lock on a fridge. But even if I did, what am I gonna do with that? Like what? I'm not. All right. So now every night in my apartment, because like my girlfriend's gonna have to have the keys. Like, I can't be trusted with the keys to the fridge. What's the point of, like, she's just going to have the keys, and then every night is just me planning a jailbreak? Like, I don't really know, like, what, like, every night she goes to bed with the keys, and then I got to, like, get a crew together. Like, I got to call people, and it's just like, all right, Tony, you're on the computers. All right, I want you out in the van running surveillance. And it's like, all right, Marsha's going to go in and distract. And then we're going to go. Like, what am I? Like, or even worse, I just pictured it's like, I'm going to be like one of those old-timey, like Westerns or like old-timey, like cartoon, like Westerns or whatever, where it's going to be like, you guys know, like, when like a guy's like locked, like the town drunk is in the jail cell, or like the hero's in the jail cell, or like it's like a prospector. It's a guy that got caught trying to take gold from someone that it wasn't his, right? Trying to take gold that didn't belong to him, right? And then the dumpy dumb sheriff is just like asleep at his desk with his legs up, just snoring with like the key ring right here, and then it's just the dumpy prospector is just doing everything he can to just reach out with like a long metal rod to try to snag the keys off the belt. Yeah, that's going to be me. That's going to be me with my girlfriend. It's going to be me being a prospector, being like, yeah, I hear there's cheese in them hills. Oh, boy, they got that sweet yellow gold cheddar in the hills. I can't do that. I can't afford to do that. I don't even know where you begin to get a better relationship with food. I don't even know what you do. Because it's like, I know people who, like, eat to live. I apparently live to eat. But, like, there's people that, like, eat to live, where it's just, like, their meals are literally just to give them energy to keep working, which is just an absolutely insane life to live. If that is how you're living your life, I don't know how you do it, and I don't know how you have joy. I don't really know, like, how you bring yourself joy from just, like, so I just don't even know where to begin. I've looked at a lot of stuff. I'm trying to walk some, exercise more, not do the late night snacking, and cooking for myself more, not eating out as much. So that's all part of the journey. I was up to like 215, 220, and now I misread the scale. I weighed myself again, and like, I thought I was down to 203 pounds, which I was like, oh, I probably have cancer or something. That's kind of that's so much weight. But I think I was at 215, and I'm down to 209. So I've lost 6 pounds in the past couple months, and that was like, I hadn't really been trying to lose the weight, and it happened. So we're gonna keep track of that on this podcast as well, because I can't live my life like this. I can't do this. But I'm gonna go home, and I'm just gonna have a glass of water, and that's it. Because here's the thing, and this is what we'll end on. Here's why I can't continue to get bigger. Because if I get bigger, I will never lose the weight. Will never lose it. Because I already think rascal scooters look really fun. Like, I think they look so cool. I think they're like I know how comfortable being that fat I would be. Like, I would be fun. I'd have a moo-moo on, like I was in that episode of the Simpsons where Homer gets really fat to get on disability, and I just would be like riding it around a Walmart, because you exclusively have to shop at a Walmart. That's it. You can't go to Target with the rascal. That's a Walmart move. That's for those people. That's my people. We got to be in the Walmart. Just in there with a moo-moo on and a nice big old sun hat, and then just me taking my cane that I don't use because I can't stand up, and I'm just like poking people with it, I'm being fun, being like, oh, get out of the way, young blood, and I'm just running people over. Like, I'm gonna be too comfortable with that. I can't have that. I can't be a moo-moo guy. I can't put the moo-moo on and be like, oh man, this breeze is kind of nice. You know what I mean? Like, I like the way we're getting a breeze up between the legs. And rascal scooters, they just look sick, man. I've always thought they looked awesome, and that's not a good place to be. You don't want that. You want to think that they suck and are lame, but they're sick and they're great. And I want one, and I want to do jumps with it. I want to take it off ramps. And you can't do that with a rascal scooter. You're not able to do that. Well, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I got other stuff to talk about, but we'll do that next week. But one more quick rundown. January 19th and 20th, I'm in Pittsburgh. January 25th, D.C. The 26th, Rockville, Maryland. The 27th, Baltimore, Maryland. February 2nd and 3rd at the Kansas City Improv. February 7th, Alamo Draft House in Crystal City. And February 8th to the 10th, I'm in Portland, Oregon at the Helium. And that's it. That's the show. This has been Dog Name Podcast. Thank you. I'm just in an absolutely horrible mood about the lens thing, and that'll be fixed by the next episode. But we appreciate you. We love you. And yeah, let's play that theme song one more time.